Here's another quick tip for getting your church to rank higher in Google search with SEO. My name's Rob Russell and I serve here with the team at Grace-Led Communications, and today we're talking all about headings. Now, if you don't know what a heading is, think of it like a Word document, a Pages document. You might have the title at the top of the page, and then you have what's called an H1 or heading 1 would be that first heading underneath it. And then if you have a subheading, that would be called heading 2, heading 3, and so forth. Heading 1 and heading 2, or H1 and H2, those are the most important headings on your website. And so you might, for example, on your About page, that might have great information about the church. Maybe it's helping people with locations and times about your church, what you believe, things like that. But if the H1 heading at the top of your page is just simply about, or it's about us, that's actually hurting your ranking on Google for two different reasons. One, it's not very descriptive. And secondly, the heading is very short. You want to see those headings be at least 30 characters, between 30 and 60 characters for every H1 heading, and include some other language with it. And maybe include your church name, like get to know us at, and then your church, or learn more about our story at, or a church committed to serving, and then the name of your city. Any of those kind of uses for your H1 that's on your About page is actually going to help you rank higher in Google search. Same thing with heading 2. Your H2, your subheadings that are further down the page. Each of those can be used to include keywords to be descriptive, but what we want to do is just make sure that they're not brief. They need to be at least 30 characters. Final tip, don't skip headings. Now, aesthetically, you might like what your website looks like for the top heading and how big it is, and you just want to see that big of a heading everywhere throughout the page, and you don't have anything but H1 headings. Google's bots, when they crawl your website, they don't know what is actually important. Because if everything's important and everything's the main heading, then nothing's important. At the same time, you might, just because you want the text to be smaller, you might have your H1 heading at the top of the page and then you jump right down to some H3 headings. Don't skip a heading level. Whenever you're building your website, or maybe you can go in and you can check your website today, even if you weren't the ones that built it, make sure that if you have multiple headings on a page, you go from H1 to H2. And then you can have another H2 if you want, but if you're going to have an H3, make sure there's an H2 before that. Make sure there's an H3 before your H4. Don't skip headings. All of these things give you check marks and clears with Google that only increase your trust and authority score as they crawl your website and then deliver your website to more people in Google search results.